And also, too, you can have a fucking jet ski. You ever seen someone sad on a jet ski? No. Have you seen Tiger King?
Yeah.
Have you watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
You know the ending where the guy's on the jet ski, dude? You see
Yeah,
how
dude.
happy he is, bro? You see how happy he is with his mullet?
Yeah. Dude, that is the best camera view, too. Like, right in front of him, he just... Whoa.
Let's fucking take a drink now.
Here's
Take
lad.
a shot, rip a shot. Cheers.
That's it.
The worst part about taking a shot, the only reason why I need a chaser is because it comes out your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're not careful, for sure.
Yeah, like the shot is fine. It goes down. But then when it settles, it like comes, it's like a fucking dragon. It's like out of your fucking nose, dude.
Or like acid reflux just sits there. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
true.
Kind of sits there in your stomach.
Yeah, and you're just getting, it's the worst that when you're just getting older, dude. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, sounds like pussies.
Yeah, I had 2 drinks last night. I've been doing this crazy drink. We should probably get into the podcast, but I've been doing this crazy drink. This will get people's attention, hopefully. Malibu rum. And you know,
Yeah.
you mix Malibu rum, it's a little pussy drink, right? So you mix it with like pineapple and it's like a nice fruity drink.
Yeah.
Malibu rum with a pineapple Truly.
Wow.
Mixer.
How is it?
It's pretty good, dude. It's like it's dangerous because it's just alcohol.
Right.
It's the Truly.
Is that good? Is it that good that it's dangerous?
Yeah, I filled like half the glass with Malibu and then half with Truly. And it tastes just like a pineapple Truly, but better.
Wow. Well, enhanced.
Yeah.
Enhanced.
Yeah, it's pretty enhanced. It's pretty good. But all right, we should probably get to this. Should we introduce ourselves first? Is that what people do?
Could be.
We should probably just intro our names, right? All right, so I'll kick it off. All right, Michael here, Dads Being Dudes. Weston and I just introed you actually, so there we go. Weston and I are kicking this off. We want to have a podcast to help all the dads out there. So my name is Michael. I'm going to be a dad on August 1st. And Weston, you can introduce yourself after I just introduced you already.
My name is Weston. I am a father as of a couple months ago. Almost, 7 weeks now. But yeah. So figure we kick off this podcast, help other dads, help each other, drink some beers on the way.
Yeah. You want to kick it off and you want to tell them what we're doing with the podcast? Let's do this. This is all because this is always interesting, right? When there's 2 partners to a business or to a podcast or anything, both people always have very different ideas.
Yeah.
Of what's going on. So you say what you want to accomplish with the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow up.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, I think we've had similar ideas in a sense like that, where it was really, I mean, you came to me. It was like, dude, we should help each other, help other dads. You know what I'm saying? And I think we could just help people by sharing some stories, answering questions, tips, giving tips. I like that.
Yeah.
Because that's really something like you think. Yeah, I mean, going into fatherhood, you kind of know. You know, you know what you know. You know.
Yeah.
And you can, which is pretty much nothing. Which I kind of figured that out. And so I think this will help us, help other people, let them know what to expect. Because I think the biggest thing for me was the change. You know, and I didn't expect that. I had a routine down.
What do you mean? What do you mean the change?
Just changing your routine.
Like what?
Like whether it's you wake up in the morning, you brew some coffee, you go outside, drink it on the tailgate, you know, do your thing, whatever. There's no more of that.
Yeah.
You know, get home from work.
You just gave away that we're from Maine. Just fucking brew some coffee, go sit outside on the tailgate.
Yeah. Something like that, you know, get home from work, crush down a couple beers, play some video games, do whatever you do. I mean, there's a little bit of that when the baby goes to sleep, but for the most part, it's a change, and I think this podcast is going to help a lot of dads help each other, help everybody. Really, I think that's what we're here for, just to
Yeah,
help and share stories. You know, do some funny shit, do some cool shit, just have a good time.
agreed. Let's go back to something real quick. Waking up every day and having coffee. Do you have a coffee addiction?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I have a coffee every day.
Do you ever not
One
have
or
a
two.
coffee?
What?
Do you ever not have a coffee in the morning?
If I wake up, if it's too late, I always wake up early, but if it's too late, if it's like 10 o'clock, I probably won't have a coffee at that point. But just to have a coffee when I first wake up, yeah.
That's pretty aggressive that you want at 1 at 10 o'clock. I have one every day at like 3.
The
Yeah,
afternoon,
yeah. Um,
like
I
a
was,
second one.
yeah, yeah. So see, I was never a coffee person. This is a big thing. I literally had this conversation this morning when I was out for a walk with Justine, is that I never drank coffee until we moved to Boston. And when I started working for the company I work for, they provide free coffee, free cold brew on tap, all that type of stuff. So I would have it just because it was free.
Yeah, you have to at that point.
And I work out in the morning before work, so I would get up at like 5, have pre-workout on the way to the gym at 5:30. So there's a ton of caffeine in that. But that used to be the only thing I drank for coffee all day long. Like that was it. And then I wouldn't have I wouldn't drink coffee. Except for then I started sprinkling in a coffee in the afternoon because it was
Yeah,
free. And since
yeah,
I transferred over to sales, I was like, all right, now that I'm in sales, I need to be hype. I need to be like excited on the phone to talk to people. Can't be like slumming it around just in like customer service. Not that customer service people slumming around, but you just don't need to be
right.
energized. You're just helping people out. You don't need to be like energized to sell. And so I'd have pre-workout in the morning, which then that would be it. Then that went from just being that to pre-workout in the morning and a cup of coffee in the afternoon. And then that went to pre-workout in the morning around 5:30 to a cup of cold brew at like 9:15 to then another cup of cold brew in the afternoon at like 2.
That's aggressive.
Yeah. And I
Do
didn't
you get
realize
that? See, what?
because it was free, so I was just drinking it. I didn't realize what I was doing to myself. And then now, like yesterday, I woke up and I forget why. I didn't have a cup of coffee. Like sometimes I just forget to have a cup of coffee. And we brew our own coffee now. I don't go spending $5 every day at Starbucks
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
But yesterday I I went for a run in the morning. That was why I went for a run in the morning, and it was kind of like it was drizzling out. It was pretty cold. So like after those runs, you get all the symptoms of like fucking coronavirus. Because this happened to me a couple weeks ago when this first happened. I went for a run in the cold, and then later on in the afternoon, I was like short of breath, and I had a super runny nose, and I was like, "Holy fuck, I'm getting corona! Oh my god!" But I wasn't. I just fucking ran in the rain like an idiot. So I did it again yesterday because I don't learn my lesson, and I didn't have a cup of coffee because of that. Because after my run, I'm usually pretty energized, and then around like 12, I started to get a headache, and I was like, "What the fuck, man? Like I've been getting headaches a lot recently." And then I realized it's only on the days I don't drink coffee. And then I was like, holy fuck, dude. I think I have a coffee addiction.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
had a cup of coffee and my headache went away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's caffeine. That's
Yeah.
caffeine.
Yeah, that sucks. So that was a tangent, but you just reminded me of it with coffee. I had to know if I was the only one here.
Yeah. No, just if I have more than one, my anxiety goes through the roof, really.
Yeah. You see, that can happen for sure, but it's kind of like that little like adrenaline. I don't know. I like that adrenaline.
Yeah, me too. But I don't like thinking crazy thoughts for no reason.
Yeah.
With the anxiety.
Yeah. It's like a legal form of Adderall from college.
Yeah, right.
I take a bunch of Adderall to do a bunch of papers and stuff, and then it's just a legal form of that now to get my work done.
Yeah.
Pretty insane. But anyway, so we should get back on topic. So my goal of the podcast, I think, is the same thing, to help people. Like, I think there's so many things out there. Like, I remember when I told you that we were having a baby, it was like, I did it with like telling you that I was reading a dad book. And then you told me you hadn't read a book. And I was like, wow, that's super weird. I'll probably read like another like 5 to 10 books at least. And I haven't picked up another book since.
Yeah.
because I just don't want to read.
Right.
Like, and there's not really a lot of podcasts out there. Like I tried listening to some podcasts and stuff, but there's nothing where like people are just throwing around a fucking F-bomb just to throw it around. They're being like parents and being like not swearing, or like they're very religious or like stuff like that, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just
Right.
not who I am, so I'm not going to listen to that. So I think with this, I think there's a ton of people out there who are like us, who are just normal people. Not that if you're religious, you're not normal. That's not what we're saying at all, but it's just not our vibe. Like I can't listen to someone talk about religion just because I'm not very religious, you know?
Right. Talk and have fun. Have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. So like talking and having fun and like making jokes, and like that's why I think like we've been posting a lot on our Instagram of like, we want to hear from you. Like we want you to give us feedback. We want you to give us content, because we don't know anything. You know what I mean? I'm not even a dad yet. So like I guess we can kind of touch on that, is like my part in this is going to be like talking about stepping into fatherhood and like the journey you take through those 9 months of finding out that like your wife is pregnant, or your significant other, whoever it is pregnant, and then going through that journey of like becoming a dad. Because for me, like I still feel like I'm not becoming a dad, because I'm like, I'm not the one with a belly. I'm not the one who has something living inside of me. Like just
Right.
a normal day, you know? So I think from my perspective, I can tell that side of the story. And then from your perspective, you are literally a brand new dad. Your baby is 7 weeks old. So
Yeah.
you're learning everything on the go. You're learning everything on the fly, like just insanely fast, because that's the only way to do it, from what I've heard.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing too. But I read one book. Well, I grazed through a book, and the thing is you
So,
just can't ask questions. You know what I mean? Like it could tell you certain stuff, but if I have a question, I can't ask the book.
yeah,
Where luckily for us, if we post something on the Instagram and through the comments, people are asking questions and helping each other, I think that'll be sick. I think
yeah,
that's what people need. That's what I need. That's what I could have used.
yeah. And like
So
even just people like hopping on here, like a quick Zoom call. Like it's just so easy to do that,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Like, and just anyone too, like anyone that has any sort of like experience with fatherhood. And even people who don't, even people who aren't dads can still help out, because like I know for me, like my dad and I's relationship is great now, but I didn't talk to him for at least like, I would say at least like, I don't know exactly, but at least 10 years. And like we're great now, but like, and there's no, I have no idea whose fault it is, right? I don't know if it was my mom's fault or my dad's fault or whoever's it was, but like even learning from that experience, like before being a dad, I knew like no matter what the circumstance is, like I want to be there for my kid regardless. And I've always felt that my whole life. So like I feel like even people who aren't dads can still provide value based off the experiences that they've had with their dads, you know, whether it's good or
yep,
bad. There's some people out there who have great dads and great relationships with them, and that's awesome. And we should learn from those too, and see like from a kid's perspective what it was that made that relationship so great, you know?
hmm
So I think
yep,
that's definitely, that's where we can go with it, and that's where we can kind of take it and try and help people, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree. I agree. We're on
Yeah.
the same page there.
Yep. Let's do it. So let's step into some questions. We just want, all right. So today, the main goal of this podcast is just to introduce ourselves. That way, I mean, honestly, the people who are probably going to listen to this one probably already know us. So they're going to be like, what the fuck? And there's some real stuff, but whatever. Because eventually there's going to be people who don't know us, and they can refer back to this one to know us. So, or to get to know us at least. So let's start it off. All right. We had what, 6 questions? Yeah, we had 6 questions, and we might add some other ones on at the end if we want to. But question number 1, you want to go first? Yeah, you go first. I just voted you. All right. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
What
What
makes
gets
me
you,
feel better?
so what gets you going?
Um, I think what gets me going is really just enjoying life and enjoying what you do. Like I don't really have somebody to, go on Instagram or whatever and say, I'm going to look at a, say, Gary V video and that's going to juice me up for the day. You know what I mean? I'm not like that. That's not going to be what I do. I think just getting out of bed and enjoying work, that's going to inspire you alone. Just not being miserable to go to work every day.
Yeah.
Uh, and just, yeah, liking to get up. So I think that's really what inspires me is just having a good job,
Yeah. So
enjoying life.
so you're a barber. What inspired you to be a barber and make you have the passion for that where you enjoy doing it instead of doing something else? Because you work in
Uh,
restaurants, like you've never had like a corporate job, where like you work in an office. Have you ever worked in an office?
no, no, God, no.
Never worked in an office. So what made you choose like
Restaurants, what?
so what made you choose barbering?
It was really just cutting my own hair, cutting Buddy's hair. Um, and my mom told me I should go to barber school, and I told her she was crazy. Um, I don't want to touch dudes all day. That's one thing I don't want to do. Um, and then yeah, after working in restaurants and everything, I just figured let's switch it up. So I went to school with some of our buddies, and yeah, been doing it six years I think now, and yeah, I love it. So that's the thing, I love it. So waking up in the morning and being inspired is just it's already there, you know.
That's pretty crazy. The fact you've been cutting hair for 6 years. How many
Yeah,
how many haircuts do you think you've done?
too many to count.
Thousands.
Thousands.
Maybe you think
Hundreds.
you think tens of thousands? You think you're over the
Yeah, probably.
10,000 mark?
Yeah, probably
That's pretty insane. That's pretty fucked up.
somewhere there. I don't know, dude. It's hard. I don't know. I don't know.
That's insane.
Yeah, so just really that, and yeah, it's funny too. I speaking of just getting up in the morning, I once asked my dad how many times he hits snooze on his alarm clock when he gets up for work, and because back then I was hitting snooze 3, 4, 5 times, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What snooze? When my alarm goes off, I get up." I'm like, "Dude, that's perfect.
That's so funny.
That's perfect." So I've been doing that too. So it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's little ways to inspire yourself.
I feel like
That makes
that's like I don't want to say like older person thing. It's like a mature thing, right?
yeah.
Because that same thing happened when we just moved into this house like less than a month ago. When we were moving in, my father-in-law, you know him, Robert, he we were putting the bed together in our bedroom, and above our window, there's like, or above our in our bedroom, there's like one huge window on the corner by the closet. And then right above our bed, so our bed sits here, there's a wall, and then right above there, there's like one of those like skinny windows that goes like a good amount of the wall length, but it's only like a foot wide maybe. So we're putting it together, and he's like, "Yeah, this is perfect. This is a great bedroom." And I was like, "Yeah, this is amazing. Like all we need now is like some blackout curtains over there and a blackout curtain up there to like pull down on that one foot." And he's like, "The fuck do you need that for?" And I, and I was like, "So I can sleep." And he goes, "No." He's like, "You get up when the sun wakes you up." And I was
Yeah,
like,
right.
"That's crazy talk. No way, no way." But it's funny
Yep.
because I feel like at some point we'll definitely get to that age. But that's happened now, and like
I'm
we,
already like that.
yeah. I mean, I get up. I mean, my routine's been totally thrown off with this work from home thing. Like,
Yeah.
I had no problem getting up at 5 a.m. to go work out before like commuting an hour to work in Boston. But now that we're like in a home and we're stuck at home and we're working from home, I can't get up before like 8 o'clock.
No, yeah, you can do your stuff whenever, really now.
It also probably doesn't help that like I've been drinking a lot more than I ever would have. Like I never
Yeah.
during the week, but I have been since I don't have to like get up at 5 a.m. to work out anymore. So like I think that's probably making me sleep more too.
Oh
But
yeah.
but I
Yeah.
have been enjoying though. The sun is waking me up and I have been enjoying it. Like it peeps in through that like 1 foot thing like over our bed. And I'll wake
That's
up
sick.
at like 8 o'clock and well, yeah, that's still late, but I'll wake up at like 7:38 and I'll be like, all right, like it's bright in here. Like I should get up, you know? Whereas before when we had the blackout curtains, you could wake up at 10 and be like, it's dark as shit. I'm still tired. I'm going to bed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, so all right. So I should
So
answer number one.
yeah, yeah. Inspires you.
Yeah, what inspires me, dude? It's such a cliche answer, and it's an answer people hate so much. But fucking money, dude. Like I like money, you
Yeah.
know? And like
Yeah.
I know like but the reason why I like money is not because I can like have it all in my bank account and be like, look at me, I have $100,000 in my bank account. That's sick. Like which I don't, which hopefully one day soon I do. That'd be awesome. But like what inspires me about that is if you have $100,000 in your bank account or you have $1 million in your bank account, you can use that to help people. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
think a
Yeah.
lot of people Like a lot of people look at money and they're like, oh, like if you're all about money, you're selfish. No, like if you're not about money, I think you're selfish because if you have a ton of money, it's going to expose who you are. So if you have a ton of money and you spend it all on yourself, then like that's who you are. You're kind of selfish. If you have a ton of money and you can spend it on others and help others, like retire your parents. Like if you have a ton of money, you can retire your parents. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Without them having to worry about like going back to work after there's so many people out there now who like retire and then have another job they do part-time. Like you're not
Right.
retired, you're still working, you know?
Right. Right.
So like you can
Yeah.
do stuff like money with that.
Yeah.
But money
That's
because it can help you help others. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Then
Yeah.
another example, like not to rant on about it, but like another example, think about right now, like how many people right now are stressed about money?
Right.
Like just the other day, like I probably can't legally say this on here, but a ton of people got laid off from the company I work at, more than half, just under half the company. Like, so all those people, if I was in that group, like that day when the message went out, like, hey, layoffs are happening today, you're going to get a phone call letting you know you're staying or letting you know you're going. I was so stressed out for like those 4 hours until it was all done
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like, I mean, I have money in the bank, but I was like, I'm fucked. If this goes on for 6 months, then that money's gone. Like the money I have saved up would be gone. So like if I had enough money, hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, then I wouldn't have to worry about that. But you also have to be smart with your money at that point because let's say you have $100,000 in the bank, but your bills are $50,000 a month because you live way above your means. Then yeah, you're just as broke as I am. But if you have $100,000 in the bank and your bills are 3, 4 grand a month, you have plenty to get you by for a couple of years. You know,
Right.
I'm not good at math, so hopefully that math checks out. But I would say at least a year, right? You got to be good for at least a year if you're smart with your money. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. All
Yep.
right. Let's. I'll rant on about that all day. Let's move
Yeah.
on
I
to
know.
number two. All right. If you, all right, this is actually a great transition because my answer is still the same. If you could turn back the time and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you tell him? I would tell him, don't move to Florida and
Yeah.
don't party as much and make more money.
Yeah.
Because the kids that like, I moved to Florida literally because I wanted to party. I like was in college and I was like, and I was going home all the time because the college is only an hour away. You've been there before. And like, I was going home all the time and still just partying back here, but I wanted to party more. So I was like, where can I get the most partying in? Oh, South Florida. That's a great place to go. So I moved
Uh,
you with me down there. We had some nights where we didn't even sleep, you know?
yeah.
Like it was just insane. And it's just wild. So I would tell myself, like, maybe move to Florida. There was a lot of great opportunity there, but like move there and don't focus on partying. Focus on like branching out your network and like utilizing that. Cause there were so many kids, the school I ended up going to down there, so many kids who had like they had Maseratis, they had Lambos, they had like Aventadors, like they had crazy cars. One of them had a Bugatti. Like I should have networked my way in with those people and then use that to my
Right.
advantage. And I didn't do that at all. I was just like, I was a kid from a small town in Maine, and I was like, fuck these people. Like they're spoiled
Yeah.
pieces of shit. Like fuck that. But in reality,
Right.
when you look at it, like if you're their parents, like becoming a dad now, like if you're their parents, of course you want to buy them the nicest things. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
would
Why
hope
wouldn't you?
there's like, yeah, I would hope there's like some lessons in there of like, hey, I'm gonna buy you this nice thing, but understand what money is. Like let's understand the value of money. It's not that I'm buying this for you to just shove it in your face and get you away from me.
Right.
Let's like teach some lessons around it. But that for me would be the biggest thing.
Yeah. 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 I think mine kind of plays off of that. I think I would just once you hit 18, once you graduate high school. I mean, I didn't go to college. I went to barber school, but whatever you have in your mind right then and there, do it. Just do it. If you have a dream, I mean, I don't think I ever had a dream to be like a professional athlete or like an astronaut or anything like, you know what I mean? Like I don't think that really ever went through my mind. So it was just whatever you're thinking then and there, do it. And you know, I'm doing it now, which is good. And so, I mean, I'm there, I guess.
Yeah. That's interesting. You never had like a goal to be like a pro athlete or anything?
Yeah, no, I always thought it would be cool, but I never really worked. I mean, when you're young, no one really ever does it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not a freshman in high school, like, oh shit, I'm gonna hit the weights so I can make
Yeah.
it to the NFL, or I'm gonna shoot 200 baskets a day so I can make it to the NBA, or play golf every day. You know what I mean? You're a kid,
Yeah. And the kids who
and
do
so
that, you make it.
Right, exactly. And that's another thing where, I was never like beat in the ass to like become this crazy athlete either,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I remember I'm trying to think of what grade it was. It was when I lived in Maine, so it was after fourth grade. Must have been junior high, sometime in junior high. In junior high, I was a starter on the basketball team. And I think I had that vision of like, it'd be sick to be an NBA basketball player. Like, that'd be sick. And I was one of the tallest kids in school in junior high. I hit my growth spurt from like fifth, seventh grade. And then after that, I just never grew again. So I was the center on the team in junior high. And I would practice. I remember I would practice in like the snow. Like, it'd be snowing out and I'd be outside like shoveling the driveway going to play basketball, which is just
uh,
so dumb. But like, I would do it because I had that vision. But I don't even know if I wanted to be an NBA basketball player. I think I just wanted to be like as good as I could. And then
right.
hit that growth spurt, never grew again after seventh grade, and was the 12th man on the high school basketball team. So,
Yeah.
hard work pays off, right, baby?
Hey, it does. It definitely does.
Shout out Troy Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that vision definitely got lost after like 8.
Right.
I don't think I ever did that again past like seventh grade. So,
No, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of, you kind of follow people. You know what I mean? Like when I graduated high school, it was everyone's going to college, so I should probably go to college. But I think that's the thing where you got to set yourself aside and say, I'm going to do what I want to do.
yeah.
I have this vision now, and I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like almost like nothing's impossible.
I mean, it's good that you guys did that too, because it was you and a couple of our friends that did it, and it was smart.
Yeah.
Because like people like myself went to school for entrepreneurship, which I wish someone told me and just smacked me in the face that was dumb as shit. But like, you can't go to school and learn from someone who has a job like that. You can't learn how to be an entrepreneur from a professor who has a job. Like, that just makes no sense.
Right.
But I think it was smart because then like people like myself who went into like, I think my debt was like, when I came out of college, my debt was around like 65, 70K, I think.
Yeah.
Then I got a job working in sales right off the bat, and like I fucking hated my life for 8 months, to the point where I just like walked in one day and I was like, I can't do this, I'm quitting. And they were about to send me on a work trip. They had paid for like flights, they had paid for everything. They were about to send me on a trip. That was in South Florida. They're about to send me on a trip to New England, actually, to like make my rounds with clients and stuff. And when I say clients, I mean I had made 8 sales total in those 9 months. So it probably speaks to the company that I was with that they even kept me for that long. And I just quit. I fucking hated it. I hated the people I worked with, and I hated the company. And I just walked in and I quit. But like, that's what 4 years of college got me. And you have this vision of like 4 years of college. At the end of those 4 years, you're going to go out and get a great job and you're going to be so happy. But like, it's just not true. So like, you just got to do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously you got it, and it helped you out a lot.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Next one. What is your best tip for making the world a better place? This can be a quick one. What do you think?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Or you asking him? Just kidding.
The guy right there.
Yeah, that's surprising that there's actually a dude there, because I didn't mean to do that. What's best tips to make the world a better place? I think it's just, be nice to others. Be polite. Don't make fun of people. Like, honestly, I think it comes down to treat people the way you'd want to be treated. As long as everyone treats everyone nice and doesn't make fun of everybody and everyone's kind, polite, how can the world be a bad place?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're too nice? I don't know. But the way I think about it is if I'm not an asshole, if I'm a nice guy and I'm polite and I talk to you and, I don't make fun of anybody, what's there to be upset about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like if everyone just had a good personality, because you get it. I mean, people are on the phone with Spectrum all the time, chewing them out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chewing them out. And I'm like, the dude on the other line isn't the reason that your internet is slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't chew him out. What did he do? You know what I mean?
That's so funny you mentioned that, because we had a huge problem with Spectrum, that
everyone does. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah. Well, we moved in and it was going to be like 6 weeks until we could even have internet. And during quarantine, we were watching fucking old DVDs. Like that's horrible. And so
Right.
it's not the people's fault who I was talking to. And I told them that numerous times. I would chew them out, but I would preface it with, hey, I'm not chewing you out. Like, you've been very helpful. I really appreciate your help. However, I want to let you know the company you work for is a fucking shithole. Like, I hate
Yeah.
this company so much. And I'm like, I get it's not your fault. And I told one girl and she laughed. She started laughing.
Yeah.
I was like, if you could send me like a survey, I will give you 5 stars. You've been great. But if you can send me one on like to rate the company, I will give them horrible reviews.
But that's just the thing. You said she laughed. You could have gone the other direction and chewed her out, and now that just
Yeah.
ruined her. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
So when you're nice and polite, you're making people laugh. You're making people smile.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple concept. You know what I mean?
I wrote down something super similar. Mine just said say hi to people. Like, it's so easy to go about your day and like never say hi to someone. Or like even when you do say hi to people, like if you just make it a point in your day, like, all right, I have a bunch of errands to run today, so I'm gonna run into a lot of people. I'm gonna make a point to say hi to 10 people today. And like I've done this before, and some people will literally look at you. There was one time I did it and I said hi to a lady. Your camera just turned off. There you go. I said hi to a lady, and her her reaction was literally like she scoffed at me. I was at the end of an aisle. Like, you know how like grocery stores have like the aisles and then on the end of them they have like some products and stuff. I was at a place like that. It was like an arts and crafts store though. It wasn't a grocery store. And I'm at the end of the aisle. This lady's coming out of like the other aisle, and she looks at me. So out of natural ability, I say hi. I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she turns around, and then I'm like, "All right, well, she was kind of rude, whatever." A couple of seconds later, I see her literally peeking around the corner. Like, this is the aisle. She's literally, and I'm like, I'm like, "Hey," and she's like, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "You just said hi to me." And I was like, "Yeah, because I'm a nice person. Yeah, I'm being friendly. Like
Right.
I just said hi. How are you doing?" Like that.
Yeah.
I would have asked anyone. Like, it didn't have to be you. I could have asked anyone who was here. Like, how are they doing? Like, and she was just so blown away. She literally was that blown away that I said hi.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
just,
pretty.
yeah. Like, if everyone in the world just like said hi to each other, like how much happier do you think people would be? You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And another thing too, like compliment people. Like, you know how many people are probably having like a terrible day, but if you just like saw them in the grocery store and you like their shoes, but like, you keep it in your head and don't say anything, or if like you're just like, "Hey, dude, I love those shoes. Like, where'd you get those? Those are sick." They might spark up a crazy conversation with you, and like that, they needed to have a conversation that day because they were having a bad day.
Yeah.
You
Or
know?
just go from 0 to 100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shitty day, and then like, sweet, he likes my shoes.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And just change their whole day around.
What are you drinking, by the way? What is that?
1800.
Tequila?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna be drunk when this is over.
that's fine.
Um, which, see, that's pros and cons right now about having a baby. I don't have a baby yet, so it's cool if I'm drunk. It's not really cool if you're drunk at the end of this, you know?
Yeah, no, right.
I also
Can't
probably look like a fucking coke addict because I have a runny nose and I just went like this a couple times. People seeing this for the first time are gonna be like, "Oh, okay, so Weston's a dad, Michael's a recovering coke addict, just kid." So nope, just a runny nose. Just a runny
No.
nose, and I don't have any fucking tissues. So
Peace.
all right,
All
so
right. So what was the next question?
quick beverage break. Next question was, if you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would it be and why? This one's interesting. I want to hear your answers. I want to hear your answers mostly on why and who.
I mean, I got some quick ones, but we could probably elaborate. I think the first 2 people I thought of right off the bat were my dad's parents. And just because I was so young when they passed away, that it would be super cool nowadays to like get to know them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? where you're so young that you just obviously you have no memory.
Yeah.
So I wrote them two down, which that would be super cool. And then my next one was Ricky Fowler.
Why?
I think Ricky Fowler is just a super cool dude. He's got to be, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be. Like,
He's not the one. He's the one with the weird haircut, kind of like a mullet.
He had long hair. Then he's, he grows it out here and there.
That's what I thought.
But no, dude, he brought like matching. I felt like matching. He wears the Puma, orange.
Yeah,
orange
he always
shirt.
wears orange. Yeah.
Dude, just rocking it, dude. And like he was minus Tiger Woods. I feel like he made the PGA Tour cool. So Ricky Fowler, I read, could have gone pro in motocross or golf. And he picked golf because motocross you don't make as much money.
Well, you don't make as much money, and you can eat shit and get very injured.
Right.
Golf, you can't really get injured.
The fact that homeboy plays golf and does tricks on dirt bikes is pretty cool. He's just got to be a cool dude.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. And I'm just a golf nut, so
yeah.
It'd be cool. He's my favorite golfer, so
that's pretty sick. All right. So those are good answers. I almost wrote down my grandfather on my mom's side because of the same reason. It's weird because I literally had this thought the other night of like, they died. My grandmother and grandfather died when I always get the years wrong, but one of their anniversaries was just the other day. I think it was my grandfather's death anniversary, and I think it was like 10 years. So they must have died when I was 16 because it was right before my birthday. So I'm 27, math guy here. So they must have died when I was like 16. But it's crazy because I had the thought the other day, like I feel like I knew them pretty well, but my grandfather was sick for like the last 2 years with like Alzheimer's, so he wasn't like himself. So I really only knew him for like 14 years. And how many of those years do you really remember? I don't remember a damn thing before I was like 8 and 10 years old. Like I had the worst memory, so I can't remember a damn thing. So did I really only know them for like 6 years? And if so, how fucked up is that? Because like they're some of like the biggest role models in my life, and they've been dead for years. Just because they were so successful, but like that's what got me into entrepreneurship was them. But like it's kind of sad that I only knew them for 15, 16 years. And out of those that I remember, really like 7 maybe.
Right. And at that age, it's not the first thing you want to do is probably like hang out with your grandparents. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not the first thing you really want to do.
Yeah. And I wish that like, I literally had this like a couple nights ago, I was thinking about this. I was getting all my feelings and sad. And I was like, wow, I really should have hung out with them more. Like, I remember I used to be mad when like my mom would always, whenever they would come over, which was like pretty often, my mom would always be like, walk them out to the car. And I'd always be like, what the fuck? Like, why not? They can walk themselves. Why do I have to escort them to the car? Like, but I wish I could just do that one more time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like I would pay so much money to just escort my grandparents to the car one more time, So,
yeah. It's funny. You mentioned your grandparents. All I can think about is prank calling your grandmother of your bedroom. That's all I can think about. We definitely messed with her. Like that was the fun thing to do was just fuck with your grandmother.
Yeah, we'd fuck with Elaine bad. Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was funny. She would get pissed. I remember one time we did it from outside one of the windows, and we watched. She almost called the cops. We had to run inside.
Yeah, from the back deck.
Yeah,
back deck.
She was about to call the cops. It's so funny, and it's just so funny because that was like her spot. That was when there was like house phones, and her spot was like whenever she came over, she sat at the bar next to the phone every single time. That was her chair.
Yeah,
it was so easy to do it. It was so easy.
Yeah.
But all right, so my 3 people that I wrote down, these might be a little bit longer too, was that number 1 was Martin Luther King Jr. because I idolized him as like a kid just because of like the way he was able to start a movement. Like think this dude started a movement of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people without the internet.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the exact number is, but I'm pretty sure he got like well over 100,000 people in Washington Square. I don't know if that's even what it's called. And that, that famous photo, you know what I mean? That place.
Yeah.
We're just showing the millennial in ourselves of not knowing the real name. But, and like that, you got hundreds of thousands of people to show up and with no internet, dude. I can't even get 20 of my friends to show up at a barbecue with internet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd love to like sit down.
That is pretty wild. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, and like the marches he would organize, like all that type of stuff, like, and they were peaceful too. They weren't like angry. He would make it peaceful. So like, how do you control such a large group of people without having like the power of internet? He would literally speak from like a megaphone when he was on like some of these platforms, you know? So
Mhm.
that'd be pretty crazy to sit down with him and like talk with him about that. Second was Gary Vee. And I'm like the opposite of you. You mentioned Gary Vee earlier. I'm like the opposite of you, where like I love hearing Gary Vee. Like
Yeah,
what made me text you that day was like where when we decided to like get the Instagram going was like I watched the Gary Vee video that morning. And it was literally the cliche example of what you just said you don't do.
yeah,
I watched the Gary Vee video that morning and I was like, what the fuck are we waiting for? Like let's and like
right.
we were about to launch this and then coronavirus started. Like I had all the stuff sitting in the corner over there for us to be doing this in person, but we can't be because of the coronavirus. So like I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I watched the Gary Vee video and I was like, fuck this. I'm telling Weston, like, we're going. Like, this is it. Like, this is the best time to do it. We're going to do it. And like, they say the greatest companies are created in like a recession, you know? So like, this is a fucking recession and it's a fucking global pandemic. So we'll be a great story one day. So Gary,
Right, right.
and Gary Vee is so fucking smart, dude. He's just like no
Well, he
bullshit.
would be definitely a cool dude to meet for sure.
Oh, yeah, dude. And
Don't
just
get me wrong. What I said is just that doesn't inspire stuff like that. Doesn't inspire me.
hmm
Like
yeah, which I get you. It is
I enjoy
fuck on it, but
watching his videos and stuff,
yeah,
but it's not what's gonna make me jump out of bed in the morning.
yeah, I got you.
But yeah, he would be a super cool dude.
Um, and then the third one was Kelly Slater. One, because I just love surfing. I've grown up surfing since I was like 8 years old. There's been great waves recently, and the beaches are closed, so I can't even surf. I'm fucking killing myself over here. And he's just like, all right, think of like Tom Brady, which obviously I have Tom Brady on a bucket right behind me, and I have Gillette Stadium right there. So I fucking love Tom Brady. But Kelly Slater has done the same thing Tom Brady has with like, I mean, he's won more championships than Tom Brady has. I mean, but it's an individual sport, so it's not even comparable. But he's won 11 world titles, and that's international. They, in the surf like league, they compete internationally. So there's people from Brazil, people from Hawaii, people from the U.S., people from fucking Italy, people from everywhere, Spain, all over the place. And he's won 11 world titles. That's insane. And he's done it. He's the youngest person to win a world title and the oldest person to win a world title. Like that's insane.
That is wild.
It's one thing to be the youngest or the oldest, but to be both, like you were the youngest and you were the oldest, that's you've
Yeah.
maintained your athletic ability for that long. That's insane. And like he gets to travel the world while doing it. Surf competitions are in a different country. Every one of them is in a different. There's like 10 or 12 of them throughout the year, and they're all in different countries. And like so, you've traveled the world. You've seen so many different cultures. It'd be so cool to just hear like your experience. Number
Mhm.
two, he's never been married. Like he didn't. He doesn't have a wife. He has a long. He's one of those people who has like a long time girlfriend. She's basically like his wife, but they just never got married. I'd be super interested to like hear his reasoning behind that and like why he chose to go
That's
that way.
wild. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And then the last reason is that he fucked Pam Anderson.
Yes, he did. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. He
he
definitely
was
did.
on Baywatch. Yeah, he was on Baywatch, which
Yeah.
people forget about. But he was on Baywatch. He
Yeah.
started dating Pam Anderson. Which, if you're dating Pam Anderson, that means you fucked Pam Anderson. And I used to think Pam Anderson was super hot, so I think that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Right. Yeah. Definitely ask him about that.
Yeah. So those are my three, and that's why. Uh,
Yep.
let's hit the next question. These ones are more focused on like being a dad. What are you most excited about being a new father?
Me personally?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um, I think just having like I think just having a kid alone is what I'm excited about. You know, having see somebody grow up, um, having a new friend in life that's going to last years and years and years,
yeah,
seeing them evolve into a personality, like just grow. I don't know. I think just being a dad kind of excites me.
yeah.
You
Agree.
know?
I think it'd be super cool to like play sports.
Yeah, right, right, right. And like a golfing buddy would be cool
Yeah,
if they enjoy golfing.
yeah, golfing buddy,
Yeah.
or even like I don't even like baseball. Like baseball is cool. I'll go to a game and like that's great. I'll go see a Red Sox game. That's awesome. It's fun. But like I don't watch baseball. Don't love it. I follow the Red Sox. Like I'll follow their highlights. I'll follow their like. I get like the alerts through ESPN and Bleacher Report and stuff like that. So I'll catch up on like every game and stuff. I just don't follow it too much. But like even like playing catch, like if your kid's into baseball, when was the last time you played catch?
I'd say at least 8 years.
Yeah, it's got to be at least that for me.
Yeah.
But I might not have played catch since high school.
Yeah, same.
So that would be
Same.
my senior
Yeah.
year was the only year I played baseball, which like played is a very loose term for being a bench warmer. But that I think that might have been the last time, dude. And that
Yeah.
was what my senior year was 2012, so 8 years ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. It'd be sick to just play
Yeah.
catch in the front yard, you know?
Or even just like have somebody be like, hey, let's go. We're taking a ride. Like, after like college and high school, it's like sometimes you find yourself alone. And like, even if you go belly up at the bar by yourself, no one really likes to do that. It's a
Yeah,
little awkward, but you still do it anyways.
yeah,
Like the little buddy, you could not necessarily saying going to a bar, but hey, you want to go grab lunch? Like I
yeah.
normally wouldn't go get a seat for one. Like, hey, let's go do this. Let's go run errands. Let's go do this.
That's so
Just somebody to hang out with.
yeah. And I feel
I
like
think
you
it's
have to develop that relationship from a young age because like if you don't, and there's a quote I'm going to post on our page later that is from this guy I know who actually I played AAU basketball with back in the day. And he has his son's got to be 3-4 years old, I would assume. And I haven't actually seen him like in person in a long time, but we've stayed in touch. And so I asked him the other day, like, what is like his thoughts on fatherhood? Like, if he had a quote we could post or whatever. And he said like the biggest thing is like he was like, I incorporate my son into everything I do. And he was like, and because of that, it allows me to still live my life like a normal day. Like I still, he was like, I still feel like I live my life like I normally would have anyways. I just have my son involved in everything I do. And he was like, because of that, it makes our relationship 100 times better. Like if you just incorporate them. So if you start them young, like he is doing that, then they'll be excited to go run an errand with you. Whereas like a lot of people who don't spend that time with their kids and develop that relationship, if you're like, hey son, you want to run to the grocery store or run to Home Depot or run somewhere, and they'll be like, no, I'd rather play video games. No, I don't want to.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
they don't want to spend time with you because you haven't developed time into that relationship. You're almost like, I mean, I hesitate to say this, but you're almost like strangers living in a home, but you're just family, so that's why it's more comfortable. Like,
Right.
you don't really know each other all that well. You just kind of live together, and like, you're his dad, and they're your son, and that's that. You know.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that,
I like that quote. I like
yeah,
that quote.
yeah. He dropped some knowledge. I'm gonna post it on the page in a little bit.
Right.
But all right, yeah. So the last question then: what scares you the most about being a new father?
I think what scares me the most is I'm kind of a worry wart. So I can see myself just worrying about everything in the near future. You know what I mean? Like
Especially right now, dude. Who knows when this
right
ends?
now, I mean, Christ, you get your kid gags and it's like, oh shit. And
Yeah.
especially like now with the coronavirus, it's like, oh
So,
shit, do I have it? Did I give it to him? Like, oh no, he's just spitting up. Well, usually don't spit up like this. Like, yeah, it's kind of or in the near future, like when your kid's in high school or something, like knowing where they're at.
yeah,
Like just I don't know. I think that's the thing I'm most nervous about.
yeah.
It's just when I go.
It's so
But my
funny.
wife my wife will probably be more nervous than I am. So
Yeah, it's so funny though, because like you think like back when we were in high school or even like junior high, like because I think about this. I think about like when I was in junior high. I think I started riding my bike to school in like. I mean, we didn't do it every day, but like on the nice days, you would do it. You know, you did the same thing. But like maybe I would say fifth grade, I started doing that.
yeah. Yep.
Maybe sixth or seventh. I know it was junior high, so I want to say maybe fifth, maybe sixth. Well, we started riding our bikes to school, and there'd be a group of like 10 of us. We'd all meet at McDonald's before, have a little shitty breakfast, and then go to school. It was like the cool thing to do once it was like springtime or in the fall. And
Yeah.
like my bike ride was probably, I mean, I've done it's probably 6 miles to the junior high, which is not super far, but like as a kid on a bike, like that's kind of far, right? And like I just think like I would never let my like what are you in fifth grade? What are you, 11, 12? Like,
In 5th grade, you're 11. You're 10 going into 11.
yeah. So like now that I'm like when I was younger, I was like, what the fuck? Why can't I ride my bike to school? Like what? But like my mom never said no. But like if she were to say no, I would have been like, what the fuck? I'm a big boy. Let me ride my bike to school.
Yeah.
I was like, now I'm gonna be a dad. I'm like, this kid's not going anywhere alone until he's like 16, 17. He might not even get his license then because I don't trust the little fucker already. He's not even born. You know?
Yeah. I'll ride my bike behind you. How's that sound?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Be that dad.
behind you on the bike.
With your fucking basket on the front and the little fucking ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Have fun at school, Johnny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Going to McDonald's, sit at the table next to him. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, man. A lot of nerves come with it.
Yeah. Well, all right. So what was your answer? Worry.
Yeah, just worrying about kind of everything.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot because I'm already a little buzzed because I didn't eat today.
It's all good.
Mine would be, and this is something that's like, it's actually kind of funny because it was a conversation Justine and I literally had, like my wife just literally had a month ago, maybe. We had like a big argument about it. And it was because I was like, and arguments to us are like not really like arguments. It's like I say my opinion, she says her opinion, and I'm very blunt. So I'm like, I fucking disagree with your opinion. See you later. I'm right, you're wrong. And so we had this conversation because she literally, or we were just, I forget exactly how it came up, but I was like, the biggest thing that scares me is that like, oh, it came up because we were moving into a new house. We were going to have a housewarming party. Everyone has a housewarming party. So I was like, oh, like, I wonder what we'll do. Like, we have so many friends from so many different places and so many groups and blah, blah, blah. Like, I wonder who, like, we'll invite to our housewarming party. Like, we can't invite everyone. That would be like over 100 people. Like, we can't have a housewarming party with over 100 people. Or maybe we have two separate ones. One, like, family and friends. One, like, just, like, or one family and one friends. Like, you guys did for the, you guys did it for the baby shower, right? Yeah. So, and she was like, her response to that was like, she was like, a housewarming party. She was like, we're having a housewarming party. And I was like, why the fuck wouldn't we have a housewarming party? We're moving into a house. Like, what? Like, why wouldn't we? And so then it became like, and we were out for a walk, and like the rest of that walk was just like this like low key argument about like having a housewarming party. And then it turned into like, I'm just worried that like we're never going to see our friends again. Like what the baby comes and then we're just never going to see our friends. Like, and that was my biggest, that still is my biggest worry of like not seeing friends. Cause like everyone was always over my house. Like I'm a huge entertainer. Like everyone was at my house. I never went to other people's houses. Like there was always 10 people at my house and they would show up unannounced. Like, and it was cool. It was like, if I was ever at home alone, it was weird.
Yeah. Right.
It was weird, And so like, I just loved like entertaining people and like throwing parties and stuff. And that's just totally going to change with having a kid, but like, which I understand. But the reason why it's so funny is because that conversation took place like a week before the coronavirus really hit. It was like a week before our birthdays. Your birthday is March 9th, mine's March 12th. Your birthday was like still kind of safe. On my birthday, the 12th was when like shit started to hit the fan.
Yeah, it was don't go out.
Yeah, that was like the day where, because all week long we were planning on like going out to dinner for my birthday and whatever, and like I was gonna get hammered, she was gonna be responsible. Obviously she's pregnant, but she was gonna watch my back, and I was gonna get hammered for like one last hurrah birthday ever. And then we ended up just sitting at home watching movies because that afternoon we were like, shit, like that was the day we decided like maybe we shouldn't go to the gym anymore. Like we're like high risk with you being pregnant. Maybe we shouldn't do this, whatever. But it's just so funny because like we had that argument like a couple of days before, and then all of a sudden it was like, we can't have a housewarming party. So that argument is fucking useless. And like we apologized like to each other like 30 minutes later and we were over it. But like I was like, how funny is it like the way, not to like minimize what's going on. Obviously people are dying from this virus. Like it's very serious. Not to minimize that in whatever way possible, but like you got to take the positives out of it and like kind of laugh at the fact that like I was like, oh my God, we'll never be able to see anyone ever again. And then like the universe was like, haha, you'll actually never see anyone again.
Yeah, right. Literally, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yep.
So it's kind of funny. But that was like my biggest thing was like never like seeing friends or like family and stuff, which I think is like a valid thing. But I think it's like an extreme. Like you're still, as long as you make the time for it, you're still going to see friends and family.
Right? Well, and I think that what it comes down to is like just just here we go. To answer your question about not seeing friends or family, I've only been doing it 7-8 weeks now. But with the coronavirus, obviously we can't see many people. But it seems like buddies are coming to your house and you're not necessarily getting hammered like you used to.
Yeah.
But it's like after an hour or two, like, all right, well, I'll let you get to doing your family thing and I'm going to head out. You know what I mean? So you still see your friends, but it's
That's
not
true. Like me and Jesse did a couple weeks ago.
right when you
I
came
dropped
over
off
and
the clothes. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like you still see your friends and, you know, it's just different. It's different. You're not getting hammered playing beer pong on the back deck,
Yeah.
you know?
Which we did have fun doing this summer before all it came.
Yes. More or less.
Exact example.
You're more or less just kind of casually having a couple beers.
Yeah. Yeah. But when they get older, though, that's when I think all right, we should probably wrap this up. But one last question. At what age, I don't know how to phrase this. At what age do you think it's responsible to start getting hammered around your kids? Like, you know how, like, at my house, my mom and her friends would always be fucking
right.
And we just thought it was,
right.
I grew up with a ton of alcoholics, and I just thought, hey, this is what adults do. But now being older, I realize most of them abused alcohol pretty well, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I love them to death, but like they did. And there's just no denying that. And they still do. And it's fun. And that's the way they live. And you can't blame them for that. That's the way they grew up. That's the way they live, whatever. But like, at what age do you think it's responsible enough to be like, all right, you're old enough for me to get hammered around you and wake up tomorrow and we don't have like a weird relationship?
Yeah, it's funny. I guess my first thought would be like high junior high, low high school.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, I don't know, because obviously I was over your house a shit ton, but my parents never really drank too much, so
yeah,
maybe my mom would have a drink a night, but nothing major, you know. So I don't know, man. Yeah, I would say that. I would say maybe high school.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna say late junior high going into high school. Like I was gonna say when you're a teenager, 13, 14. I lean towards like 14, but 13 you're a teenager. I think that's the age where you can maybe be like, well then I don't know. It's hard because they don't understand, you know? Like I literally had this thought last night because I remember like, I mean, like let's be real, my mom loves alcohol. Low key like functioning alcoholic. I mean not anymore, but definitely back in the day. And like she would always pour these drinks that like I remember I'd always watch her and these drinks would be like this much vodka and then like that much tonic.
Splash of soda.
Yeah, splash of tonic and that would be it. And I'd always be like, why do you need that much? Oh my God, like a shot is only like that much and then you fill the rest with tonic. But then even like I literally had this thought last night. Like I was pouring myself a drink last night and I filled it up like that much with booze.
Oh yeah.
That much with other stuff, the mixer.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you take after your before.
Yeah, I was like, I just didn't understand. Just didn't understand. I was too young. Like,
right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'd stick with what we said.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's a wrap. So, first episode in the books. That was obviously just an intro episode. Next week, we'll come out with a different one about a certain topic. What are we going to do? We're going to pick a topic. Maybe we'll pick 2 topics about becoming fathers. I would say normally we'd talk about sports. There's no sports going on, so that one's going to be hard to talk about. But we can maybe talk about some sports memories. And that'll be that. So we'll talk about some dad stuff. We'll talk about some sports. Eventually, we'll do this in person. But for the time being, not worth risking it whatsoever. And that's that. Is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap, bro.
Cool. Send them out with some music. Send them out with some music, dude.
Dude, all right, ready? I got the beats.
You got the beat? All right. That's a wrap. Like a condom. We didn't use them. Hey! That's a wrap right there.
All right, bro.
That's a wrap.
Cheers, that's a wrap.
So that's it.
Yeah.
And now we're done. Cheers.